Monday and good afternoon to everybody here with us this afternoon. I am MJ Marfori and I am so honored to be with everyone here today as we mark a very special day to witness and announce a momentous partnership between Signal TV Inc. and APT Entertainment Inc. for the birth of a new TV channel really worth waiting for. And first and foremost, we do know that Pinoy humor has always been a part of Filipino culture, and Signal TV Inc. and APT Entertainment Inc. know that Filipinos need laughter to liven up their days and nights. Yes, mga kapatid, days and nights talaga. And this is what Buko has to offer as the very first and only 24/7 local comedy channel that will soon be launched come August. And to talk more about this monumental partnership, allow me first, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome our esteemed guest for this afternoon's event. Let us start with FVP, Head of Marketing, Signal TV Inc., Sir Guido R. Zabaliero.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon to you. Also, we do have our FVP, Head of Channels and Content Management, Signal TV Inc., Miss Shena Maris G. Olaso.
Kumpletong-kumpleto naman.
Of course.
Diba?
Oo nga po
po kayo?
Buti hindi ko binuo yung G mo, madam.
Oo.
Mamaya. Yes.
Kamusta po sa lahat?
All right, ma'am. Babalikan kayo namin mamaya because also we do have APT Entertainment CEO and President, Direk Mike Toviera. Hi, Direk Mike.
Hi, good afternoon. Excited to be here.
We are so excited to learn more about Buko this afternoon. But all right, to officially start our media roundtable, let us welcome Mr. Guido R. Zabaliero coming back again for his welcome remarks. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you everybody for attending. We'd like to welcome you to our kickoff for our latest channel. And we're also very excited to be partnering with APT to bring to you our, the Filipino viewers and our partners in the press, this fantastic, only unique comedy channel called Buko. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Guido, for that wonderful introduction. Now let us have a recap on how Buko, the partnership of Signal TV and APT Entertainment started. Let's watch this AVP on the highlights of the contract signing that happened back in 2019. Please watch this.
Welcome to the formal contract signing for Signal TV and APT Entertainment.
It's a perfect partnership because expertise nila ang content, expertise po ng Signal ang technology. Gusto po natin makapagpadala ng saya sa mga manonood, diba?
Make people smile. Yung talaga yung namin, objective namin. I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship and beautiful partnerships. Thank you.
Grabe, natatandaan ko po yung coverage na yan at natatandaan ko rin na simulan yan. Lahat po ng fans ng APT Signal, hindi na kami tinantanan dahil excited na sila sa channel na ito. Talaga namang it's something to look forward to in this first and only 24/7 local comedy channel that aims to give the right mixture of classic Pinoy humor and feel-good content para po sa buong pamilya yan. And we're here to take everyone's excitement at notch higher with a special AVP pa po. So please watch this.
Ready, set, you on!
May party tayo sa bahay.
Eto na.
Naku, masarap ito.
Hoy, tara na!
Want to feel good? Enjoy? Have fun? Have a good laugh. APT Entertainment and Signal TV bring you Buko your 24/7 local comedy channel. Para sa 24/7 tawa at tuwa na swak sa pamilyang Pinoy. For everyday all-in entertainment, we give you Throwback Tawanan. Get thrilled with Pidol's Wonderland's wonderful stories for the whole family, told by Mang Pidol, the king of comedy, Dolphy.
Huwag kayo magtatatapat sa ventilador. Baka matuluyan kayo.
Mac and Cheese. Sitcom starring Derek Ramsey and Empoy Marquez. Throwback to one of the most watched sitcoms of the one and only Bossing Vic Soto. 143. Adding Bossing's popular comedy series, Daddy Didodu. To send daily good vibes, Fill in the Bank game show presented by manager Jose Manalo and Madame Poki Pokwar. Fantasy series, Leia, ang pinakamagandang babae sa ilalim ng lupa. Bawal ang di manood ng bawal na game show with Barbie Girl and Baby Girl, Paolo Ballesteros and Wally Bayola. And the sketch comedy show with the unbeatable trio, H3O. Plus classic comedy with your favorite notable artists. Pinoy Classics. The story of one more university in School Bukol with Tito, Vic, and Joey.
Eskwela todo dito enjoyable.
It's a liability. It's your fault. It's your fault.
The longest running and top rated gag show in the Philippines, hosted by Henyo Master Joey De Leon. Wow, mali!
Pare, sa may tindahan, sa may kanto, may nakita ako, sexy babae, pare. Sinipulan ko eh. Ang sexy eh.
Oy, tas ano nangyari? Andun yung shota, tas ginulpi ka.
Hindi pare. Hindi asawa ko.
The longest running sketch comedy show, Bubble Gang.
Gusto mo tulungan kita? Akin yung susi. Wag na. Ako nang bahala sa susi. Pag-hawakan mo na lang yung bahay. Kasi na pag gumigewang-gewang eh.
TV5's well-known sketches, Tropang Trumbo and Loco Moco. Offering fresh and latest comedic trends, Buko Originals. The first ever vlog-like lifestyle show of the phenomenal star Maine Mendoza.
Ito na. Yan.
Magaling ka lang pala. Marunong ka. Madali ka lang matuto eh.
Oh! Bakit lang? Baka paatras na tayo forever. Ayan, mapagka na ako. Bawat kanto, bawat sulok, basta't may masayang trip, game ako dyan. Ito ang #MainGoals.
Featuring her life's bucket list. #Main Goals. Bring back the traditional.
Yan na kapag ang ginamit mo palayok, yung aroma niyan, ang sarap-sarap amuyin.
Tayo dyan. Tikiman na tayo.
Iba yung feeling eh, pag talagang traditional.
Kaya naman, pagyamanin natin ang sariling atin dito lamang sa Kusina ni Mama.
The rich culture of Pinoy cooking in Kusina ni Mama. Reality, sexy, comedy game show with 20 contestants competing in sexy and funny games. Perfect beach buddies. We introduced the story of two bumbling detectives, Kalabog and Bosho, with a comic duo, Jose Manalo and Wally Bayola. Yahoo! Reports the country's latest issues in the most hilarious way in this satirical newscast. Follow the story of the lifeguard phase in this sexy comedy sitcom, The Last Resort. Sama-sama tayo sa 24/7 na tawa at tuwa. Yippee! Dahil dito sa Buko, feel good ka dito.
nakita ko, Tropang Trumpo, Bubble Gang, Loco Moco, at yung napakarami pa, Pidol's Wonderland. I could name everything that I'm excited about, even the originals of Buko Channel. Pero talagang now-GV ako doon at na-excite ako. Pero eto na, para malaman natin what's in store ng mahabang-mahaba, masagot yung mga katanungan natin, and to tell us what Buko has to offer, let us hear from APT Entertainment Inc. CEO and President, Direk Mike Toviera!
Hello.
Na-excite ako, Direk Mike!
Oo nga, nakaka-excite naman talaga. This is actually the culmination of a very long journey. Kahit na yung contract signing was done 2019, we had been working on the idea of Buko, di ba, Michelle, for about almost 5 years now, actually. So actually, ano lang siya lumaki na lumaki yung idea because of Signal's growth with the large subscriber base. And of course, we were talking, why not have a 24/7 comedy channel? And in APT, that's one of our fortes. That's what we really do well. I was born around comedy, syempre, with my father in Bulaga. So sabi ko, let's marry our forces together and let's provide naman something new, to the audience. But of course, this was like even years before. Tapos nung nangyari yung pandemya and then everyone got locked in, sabi ko, mas lalo na yata ngayon, mas kailangan ng ganito, something that, parang a home for feel-good content, things that will make people laugh and inspire and encourage people. Kasi lalo na when times are tough, when times are challenging, mas lalo natin kailangan ng inspirational stories. Sometimes we just need a laugh to get through the day, di ba? So that was our medyo philosophy behind the Buko channel. So even with the delays that happened, because of the pandemic and all of that, I think Buko is finally coming to fruition. It's being born at exactly the right time when people really need something like this in their everyday life. So we're very, very proud and very, very thankful, Michelle Sergido, that we've partnered up for Buko, because this, we really honestly feel, is something that the audience not only wants but needs during these tough times.
Actually, Direk Mike, meron kayong, tama ba, 3 types of Buko contents na aabangan ng audience ninyo? Ano-anong klaseng content po yun, based on what we saw in the AVP before this?
Yes, kasi meron kaming yung mga flashback, things that, content that has already been aired before, but syempre hindi, in Philippine television, we really don't have a repository where audiences can look back and go back to content that maybe they want to watch and all that. Kasi we rarely do replays on free TV. That's one type of content that we feel people will really want. Kahit ako I want to watch older episodes of my favorite shows, lalo na yung mga sitcoms. I started in a bossing sitcom. My very first job was as a writer in a sitcom for bossing. And I would love to just watch all of those, but they exist on tape now. There's no service where you can actually, tune in and watch, these older episodes that maybe the younger generation wasn't able to catch, di ba? Na hindi pa nila napapanood ng first run. So that's one. And this is the first time there would be a home for really good comedy content that you can go back to. Another are the classics. Yan, syempre yung mga foundation of what comedy is right now. And we want especially the younger audiences to see how the masters did it, di ba? Parang what kind of content made people fall in love with all of these, not just the brands, the comedy brands of the shows, but also the great comedians of the past. So, but the third, and we're really excited to start adding to the library. That's where the Buko originals come in. These are originals that are exclusive to Buko, that we haven't done, we haven't produced or exhibited anywhere else. It's really exclusive to the channel. And this is where we're really excited kasi we're doing a lot of firsts for this, for the Buko originals. And it's something that feeling namin the audience has been wanting, but didn't know really where to go. Where's the correct platform? Is it in digital? Is it on free TV? Is it on cable? So now we put everything together on the content that we know that people want, but they didn't know where to go. So now this is going to be the new home of Philippine comedy.
I saw Mamang Pokwang for the Buko originals in Maine. And si Maine yung isa nga sa sinasabi ko, parang last year pa hinahanap ng fans din na magta-travel siya. And that is, you gave her Pop Pinoy, which is another side of her, and this one is a totally different, again, side of her. Paano po na build up or na come into terms na bagay siya or papagawa sa kanya yung vlog-like na travel show?
When we talked to Maine first, and we knew that she wanted to do something like this, we wanted her, syempre, for Buko. We want her to be part of the inaugural team from the first yung first salvo of shows. Gusto namin agad kasama si Maine. And si Maine kasi is very excited. She always wants to try new things. So inupuan ko si Maine and I talked to her about it. What do you want to do? Kasi there were a lot of options on what she could do in terms of genre. Do you want to do a narrative? Do you want to do like a sitcom series or anything like that? And she wanted to do something like a bucket list, you know? So pinag-usapan namin. So sabi ko, what do you mean? And it turns out, si Maine kasi, in reality, she leads a very kind of introverted existence. She's very shy, you know, so she likes reading books, she likes writing, she loves music. She doesn't go out so much, you know, she's not that kind of person. So Main Goals is designed to take her out of her comfort zone. That's the very definition and the very concept of the show. And the cool thing about this is before we started the show, we met with Maine and we talked about the things that she hasn't done, things that she's been wanting to do. And you wouldn't think that it's not the usual, you know, like farm life, you know, we have this week where she just helps out in a farm. The whole time she's just helping out and seeing what farmers go through on a daily basis. It's not something you would think that Maine was curious about, but she was very curious about that because she has advocacies naman in terms of like health and you know, what we put into our bodies is, you know, our body is a temple and we should be careful what we put into our bodies. And that was very, very enough for her. That was very kind of educational for her. So what we love about Main Goals is, number one, it's very entertaining. When you watch it, kami nga sa editing, palang tawan-tawa na kami kasi so much of it is like off the cuff. So much of it just comes, you know, just naturally comes up with these really funny situations and funny lines. But not only is it funny and entertaining, you watch Main and you watch her grow. You know, just naturally she's growing. She's experiencing things na hindi pa niya na-experience. Parang sinabi nga sa amin, parang I'm realizing na medyo sheltered pala yung experience ko, yung buhay ko before kasi there's so much out there to experience. So Main Goals is that. Main Goals is her attempt to experience more from life. So it's very adventurous. It's very fun. Yeah, super. So it's very, very excited.
Direct Mike, baka hanapin ng fans yung mga behind the scenes, yung mga yung mga cuts, 'di ba? Pero yung mga hindi nag-made hindi naka-ere. Ayun, pero of course we also do have the show of Mamang Pokwang cooking, which we do know she loves to do as well. And now it's gonna take historical route, tama po ba?
That's true. Actually, yung kusina ni Mamang started with a conversation I had with Mamang. Sabi ko, what are your frustrations in terms of like what you still want to do na hindi mo pa nagagawa? And then she told me of this passion project that she had been thinking about for about 2 years now. And she loves to cook. She really loves to cook. But her advocacy is teaching the younger generation these older techniques and older dishes na baka hindi na natikman or na-experience ng younger generation. She's very, very passionate about that. And that's where we came up with Kusina ni Mamang na these are traditional dishes and some of them are disappearing na because the younger cooks, the younger chefs, they don't know anymore. It wasn't passed on to them, the right way of doing it. The other reason also is that some ingredients are getting harder and harder to source. So for Mamang, gusto niyang itawid dun sa younger generation. So we came up with this idea where she will cook in traditional ways, these traditional and older recipes, mga heirloom recipes, but she will always have younger younger celebrities, you know, members of the current generation para matikman nila yung bago and malaman nila, my God, it takes so much work pala to do something like a dish that looks so simple. And then for Mamang, it goes into her advocacy of like food education. Like, you know, not everything has to be like unhealthy or fast food or whatever. There are these dishes that are good for you, that you will enjoy, that are delicious, pero, you know, they might be vanishing already. Less and less people know how to make them. So parang for her who loves cooking, and it's a genre that so many people love, one of the most popular yan sa digital, sa YouTube and whatever, you know, yung mga cooking videos. So we wanted to kind of merge all of those together, and then that became Kusina ni Mamang. So we're very proud of that kasi naman that's the culmination also of 2 years of dreaming. So we wanted to do something for Mamang, and she very, very happy na natuloy na yung dream show niya.
Wow. And nakita nga namin, no, parang may pagka-patriotic pa yung yung outfit ni Mamang doon. And we're so excited for the comedy that she'll also inject while cooking. Pero ito, direct, sabi nyo, long time coming itong channel na to. The contract signing happened in 2019. So, nagkaroon po ba kayo ng challenges along the way in conceptualizing which content to put in Buko? Lalo na syempre yung library nyo po, no? Parang talagang baul ang dami, di ba? Paano nyo po pinuno yung grid?
The delay from 2019 to now, basically naging dalawang main reasons yan. Number one is yung originals namin, nagkaroon kami ng mga challenges in terms of taping, in terms of shooting. Especially, for example, with both Kusina ni Mamang and Main Goals, both shows tape out of town. When we felt that we couldn't quite control yung safety, in terms of being, of course, Main would have to interact with people, you know, Mamang would have to travel to the location and all that. If we were not sure that they can be protected and that protocols could be followed, we decided to postpone muna the start of taping. Kasi ang pinaka-importante sa amin is that everyone be safe. So yun lang yung technicalities, because the pandemic really gave us so many challenges. And then the second main reason, the cause for the delay, was that we were very actually saddened and challenged to know that archiving, especially for television, was very poorly done, and especially in the past. So some of even today, we realize some of our most favorite episodes and some of our most favorite shows have disappeared forever. Kasi hindi, especially in the 80s and the 90s, we weren't as conscious yet of other platforms. We rarely ever replayed. There was no streaming platform, or there was no cable yet where you could put or you could deposit the past episodes para balikan po ng audiences. Walang ganun noon. So we were very sad. Plus also our weather here in the Philippines is dry and hot. It doesn't bode well for yung mga Umatic, mga Betacam, na mga ano. So in our efforts in the past year and a half to research and look for our most beloved shows and episodes, sad to know that a lot of them have disappeared already. So parang for us, it became yet another advocacy na we want, before some of them are lost, forever in eternity, na hindi na mahahanap or hindi na ma-rescue yung tapes. We wanted to put them all together, what is existing, what is remaining, put them all in Buko, so there will be a home for people, for especially the younger generation now, to experience what we experienced when we watched it for the first time.
Grabe, Direk. So may ganun pa palang discovery, no, about archiving. That's very much interesting to note, not just, of course, for APT and Sigma, pero siguro lahat sa industriya. Pero kayo po ba, along doing this advocacy of course, reviving the treasures that we have, of course, by APT, meron ba kayong mga personal favorite na na-discover nyo na ilalagay nyo sa Buko channel?
Yeah, well, ako, lalo na sa akin personally, I am very excited to have bossing Vic Soto's sitcoms, kasi that's where I started. So like the first thing I was doing, I was looking for my episodes. When I was a new graduate then, and then I was trying out writing, and they gave me a break to write some episodes for 143, which is going to be one of our first shows. And yun, so ang sarap hanapin, and ang sarap it becomes kind of like a time capsule. When you watch some of these beloved episodes, whether it be School Bukol or one of Bossing's eps or one of the TV5 contents, then it kind of takes you back immediately. You remember where you were when you watched it, what you had for dinner, before you place yourself on the TV, and parang it brings you back. And I want to share kind of that feeling of looking back onto really good times. So yun yung parang for us naging very, very, very important yun. Let's try to hunt down the material that we loved before, that the new generation may not have had the experience to or the opportunity to experience, at ipa-experience naman natin sa kanila. Yun lang technically, it turned out to be much harder Pero the journey was worth it. Kasi nakakaano talaga, you know, you reminisce, you remember. So we wanted to share that that fulfillment with the younger generation naman.
Before we start the Q&A portion, of course, we would like to acknowledge first the following executives. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. First and foremost, I want to call in Sir Miguel S. Vea, the AVP Head of Channels and Programming of Signal TV Inc. Hi, sir. All right. Also, we do have Sir Jojo O'Connor, COO and CFO of APT Entertainment Inc. Hi, sir.
Hello, afternoon.
Good afternoon. And eto na po siya, si Miss Camille Montaño, VP for Production Operations of APT Entertainment Inc. Hi, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. And ito na po, ang Buko Channel Manager of APT Entertainment Inc., Mr. Adrian Santos. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Congratulations in advance. Ito na, simula na ng mga katanungan ng mga kapatid natin sa press. Uumpisahan natin. Of course, si Ate Rose Garcia from Abante will ask her questions. Go ahead, Ate Rose.
Yes, hello po. Good afternoon. Yan. Congrats po dito sa Buko Channel. And then, ang question ko lang po, sa tingin niyo po, gaano ka-ready ang audience ngayon for a throwback comedy? At this time, na very millennial, yun. Sa tingin niyo po, gaano ka-ready ang mga audience?
I think I'll answer that.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, no, kasi when we were talking about yung magiging content ng Buko, that was one of our first priority was actually to have throwback content. Why? Because even the younger audiences, hindi na sila linear manood. You know, they don't always want or cannot have the time to watch specific times of the day and all that. They want to have access, you know, later times or something that they can go back to. So we wanted to make Buko like a home for, you know, really good comedy content that sometimes yung iba mas recent but maybe they missed. Yung iba naman mas classic talaga. So based on yung mga habits, mga viewing habits ng audiences nowadays, you know, multi-platform na mag-consume ng content ang mga tao ngayon. So we are sure that people are more than ever looking for, you know, ways to watch material that they either enjoyed before at gusto nilang ulitin or hindi nila napanood during first run and gusto nila makahanap ng opportunity to enjoy it. So we're very sure that people want that opportunity, and we're very proud naman sa Buko for people to have another platform for them to enjoy comedy.
Oo. Although ibang-iba kasi yung comedy before, di ba? Direct mic, kahit mga school bukol. Ayan.
True, Ate Rose. Pero good comedy naman, I think, is evergreen. Yung good comedy. Laugh, you know, parang when you make me laugh, you know, and it's kunyari, a good joke, wala forever yan di ba? May forever rin naman pala.
Yeah. Tapos direct, magpapasok kayo ng mga bago din, mga bagong shows, bagong comedy. And yung mga artists ng APT ba, lahat ba sila mapapanood dito? Paano po ang plano din?
Yeah, wala. That's true. Yes, wala naman kaming limits in terms of who can appear in Buko. You know, iba-iba naman yung mga pinaplano naming content. Actually, right now we're planning for the content for middle of next year already. Kasi syempre we have to prepare in advance. So it's very, very exciting. Yung iba will be expected. So of course, we can't reveal, you know, kung sino yung mga gumagawa na or gagawa ng mga darating na shows for the next year. Pero yung iba, people will expect and people are hoping for na syempre kung comedy channel yan, dapat nandyan si ganyan or gusto namin makita si ganyan. We're preparing that. But there will be medyo surprising names also, and there will be fresh names also that you wouldn't know that they would be doing comedy content. Pero dahil dun sa konsepto or dahil dun sa yung mismong idea ng show, bagay naman pala or kaya naman pala nito, meron naman palang comedic timing itong artistang ito, yung ganon. So marami po kaming niluluto in terms of that. So yes, marami po tayong mga mukha na makikita sa Buko, some familiar, some medyo fresh. So ano po yan, a variety po talaga.
Okay.
Ate Rose, dagdag ko lang, Ate Rose.
Ah.
We're also trying to be very careful na Buko will not be known lang as repository of old content, no? That's why we want a mix of the old and the new. So we're also gonna do a lot of original content para balansyado yung familiar from old titles, and then something fresh, something new. So we're also very conscious of mixing original and old titles.
Okay.
Thank you, Ate Rose.
Actually, maganda yon. Parang mix ng comedy before and comedy ngayon. Then my last question is, like si Maine kasi is a AAA artist, di po ba? So, at alam natin na nag-start din siya as a dubsmas queen, comedian. May plano ba kayong bigyan siya ng parang solo sitcom, yung siya talaga yung bida? Naka-line up po ba yon?
Marami po kami naka-line up for Maine, and ang pina-prioritize namin yung mga medyo passion project niya, yung mga gusto niya or hindi siya nabigyan ng chance to fulfill. Maraming ideas si Maine, is very creative eh. So yun ang gusto naming parang bigyan ng priority. In terms of sitcom, kasi she has a current sitcom now, so parang hindi naman yun top priority for Maine. There's so many other concepts and so many other genres na pwede niyang gawin at gusto niyang gawin, and sobra siyang excited. She was one of the first na kinausap namin for Buko. So sa dami ng opportunities and other genres that she can do, yun excited siya to have a new home in Buko for those kinds of shows.
Okay, thank you, Direk. Thank you po. Congrats.
Thank you, Ms. Rose.
Thank you, Ate Rose. Eto naman, I will read the question from G. Trilliano of Malaya Business Insight for our bosses in Signal. How is Signal faring these days, and how can Buko help in terms of further meeting the expectations of Signal?
I'll answer that. Sige. I think Signal is very, very lucky that it's doing very, very well now. We have over 3.5 million subscribers right now. So, I think our mission to bring entertainment into as many Filipino homes is really coming true. And Buko is part of that mix. And I think that, the proposition of Buko kasi is very unique. It's the only feel-good comedy channel in the country, and excuse me, we've partnered with the experts in comedy, and that channel, I think, is also. We believe when we were creating the channel, we were talking to Direct Mike and the rest of the team that humor is part of the Filipino soul, and that the Filipinos thrive on humor, and in any situation they will find humor in it. They'll always look at what the bright side is, and to have a channel that mirrors that personality and that trait of the Filipino in Signal, and then we are the biggest and we reach the most number of homes. I think the synergy is perfect.
Thank you so much, sir. And the next question from Miss G is that, bakit raw po Buko? Is it Buko as in the coconut, or Buko as in you got caught or revealed? Anyone can answer po.
Oh, may additional naman pa. We have so many reasons why it's Buko. It really only started with Buhay Komedya. That was the first one, di ba? But when we were starting to play around already with the station ID, with the graphics and everything, everyone had their own interpretation kung bakit Buko. It's really funny, actually. Even the artistas. So you guys will see, yung mga artista po natin, lahat sila may konting interpretation, may hirit, may joke about the Buko, whether it's the fruit, the coconut, or kung ano-ano man yung mga ibang logic nila. So nakakatuwa po talaga. So originally it is as simple as Buhay Komedya, and then shortened, and then we play around with the Buko as kind of like a cute parang emoji symbol for the channel. Pero nanganak na kung ano-ano na yung mga pinaglalaroan ng mga tao na reasonings behind Buko. Kasi and we're very open to that. Like this channel is the audiences as much as it is ours, you know, and we want audiences to feel like it's theirs. So parang kung ano man yung interpretation nila of that Buko, if it's just yung iba sinabi na kasi yan parang Buko kunyari in the middle of a hot day at summer and then you drink Buko juice and it makes you feel
refreshing.
good. That's exactly what this channel yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay, may ganon. Sige, okay rin yan. So, we welcome any and all interpretations. But at the end of the day, yun na nga, feel good kami. And whether it's drinking or eating the fruit or just, you know, it makes you just laugh. Kasi, ay, cute Buko yung pangalan ng channel. Then all of it is good.
Thank you, Direk Mike. And this time, the question is for Ma'am Shena Olaso. Eto, Ma'am Shena, tanong nila na, why did you choose to do an all-comedy channel? And did you do a study? And was there a clamor for Signal subscribers for a one-stop channel for comedy hits?
Magandang hapon ulit sa lahat ng friends natin sa media. No? Actually, yung question na yan is very similar to the question yung kanina na, ready ba tayo sa throwback ng comedy, no? You know, napaka-universal nung feeling ng feel good eh. Na how as I was even watching yung ginawa namin na AVP, no? Hanggang ngayon natatawa pa rin ako eh. Hindi ba? And sabihin mo na I'm from the generation of nung unang panahon, 'di ba? Because the feeling of feeling good is very universal. Yung kahit na medyo hindi ka natatawa or nakakatawa pa rin siya, di ba? So, ibang-iba yung pakiramdam ng feel good na yun. So, maybe I imagine kung ako natatawa, nagtataka yung mga millennial ngayon or yung mga kabataan ngayon, bakit kaya siya natatawa, di ba? Which is also something that's very different. Something that you can engage with. Eh, kasi ganito eh, di ba? So, yung feeling of, we feel that today, the differences in paano tayo matawa, ano ang nakakatawa, is what is interesting and what the channel could offer. Eh. It's a piece of, di ba, a jump board for us to talk. Mag-engage kami ng pamangking ko, nung anak ko, yung ganon, di ba? So, in terms of study, we did talk about it as a group. We did have a lot of discussions and insighting. And nowadays, it's very important that we have that feel good. Yun, sabi mo nga kanina, GB, di ba? Good vibe. And it can come out from a channel as like Buko, where merong bago, sina Main, di ba? May bagong palabas sina Mamang, at meron ding school bukol. Meron ding trompan-trompo, di ba? Na pwede talagang from wherever you look at it, meron kang pagbubunutan para maging masaya at matawa ka eh. Na, again, universal kasi yung feeling ng ng feeling good, di ba? Very universal siya. So, natataon lang, yun ang feeling namin. It's really timely now. Plus, there are many other options of of where there's narratives na drama, diba, na thriller, na iba, pero yung natatawa ka lang, diba, I could hear sa akin ngayon, no, diba, the way other kinds of laughters or other kinds of feeling good about something, nadidinig ko yun, iba-ibang klaseng tawa. So, yun yung gusto naming makuha out of the channel. Plus, ang alam ko sa plano po ng Signal, this channel we'd like to open up to many of our other Filipinos who are outside, who are in the international scene, our OFWs. Kasi nga, di ba, you want to bring back memories as well as, you want to share with them the fun times today. So ito po ay isa sa mga objectives ng channel. And we feel na we can bring that kind of feel good and fun and happiness to our kababayans out there. Sa international scene or yung mga OFWs natin.
That's nice, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. And this one naman po is a question for Sir Guido. Sir, how different is Buko daw from other channels owned by Signal TV? And how can we access Buko? And when will it be available?
Well, I think we already covered yung how different it will be, di ba? So, you know, like we said, it's a very unique channel. Now, when is it available? I believe we'll be ready in August 2 to launch the channel.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be launching it on Signal, so all our Signal subscribers, on satellite. So that is another prepaid brand that we manage. And then we also make it available on a service we call Signal Play. And Signal Play is an OTT service, meaning you can access it through your mobile phones, your tablets, your other devices. So that channel will then be available there. And then, you know, as Shena mentioned, we're also working hard to make sure that we deliver the channel to all of our Filipino brothers and sisters in other countries, whether it be through Signal Play or through partnerships with other TV networks there.
Sir, eto po kadikit lang na question from Business World, Michelle Suleiman. Sabi niya, is the channel ready on air or streaming? Since you did mention Signal Play and it is free, di ba po?
Yeah. So it'll be on air and streaming. So that is through Signal Satellite and Signal Play. And I will also mention that kasi may nabakanting channel slot in terms of the numbering sa Signal, and it will be on Channel 2 kasi bakante ngayon. So we're putting Buko in Channel 2.
Kaya po pala, yun nga i-mention natin mamaya, nasa Channel 2 po mapapanood sa Signal. Ang Buko Channel, yun po yun. Yun pala yung nabakanting slot doon. Pero ito po may question, si Nathalie Tomado of the Philippine Star. Sabi po niya nga, in terms of programming, how was the lineup of shows changed by the pandemic situation? Kung meron man nabago.
Yes, actually nabago siya. Well, number one, the first effect was that na-delay. We had a lot of talks, nagpaalam kami kay Michena and Sir Guido that talagang our priority would be the safety of the stars and of the crew and the staff. So we were, we talked about it, and we had to delay some of the productions during the midst of the pandemic, talagang the lockdowns last year. And then when we restarted na, of course we follow protocols. We're very careful about everybody's health and safety. But there are, as far as I remember, 2 shows that were delayed until later in the year or maybe next year. Kasi ang worry namin is, basically ang naging rule namin is that if the show is shootable safely during the pandemic, then we push through with it. If the pandemic situation or yung mga limitations ng health protocols will betray the concept of the show or will hurt it in any way, baka it's not as funny or it won't be as enjoyable or entertaining, then let's wait for a time where it could find its audience better or it could be a little bit more faithful to the actual concept. Yung mga ganun na shows, yun yung minove namin. Na parang, and those shows are the ones na medyo ensemble, and then, people would be medyo forced to be closer to each other. Parang sayang naman kung pilitin. So that those are the ones we moved later on. Kasi feeling namin, mas bagay siya pag mas people can move more freely and it's safer. Doon na lang natin ilagay. So that's the only way things were really changed. Kasi pinrioritize namin yung health and safety. Pero the ones that nahanap naman kami ng paraan to still execute it well and it could still be entertaining and funny while following the protocols, yun tinuloy naman namin.
Direct, if I may,
Yes,
I may have a follow-up answer, MJ. Alam po nyo, aside from the original programming, when you create kasi a channel, di ba? So marami pong pinanggalingan yung mga materyales, the wealth of the library of APT, yung pong sa TV5, 'di ba? Tinignan po namin lahat 'yan. To be quite candid, we've been on test broadcast, no? Na kami pa lang yung nakakakita, no? And I tell you, there are many things, again, readiness issue yan, no? Marami po kaming nakikita na kuminsan, nakita na namin yung programa, di ba? Pinagsunod-sunod namin. And then, because it can still be improved. Or, di ba, because of the type of comedy nga nung una at yung susunod, yung iba puro sketches. Tapos yung susunod, puro narratives na series, di ba? It was so, very enlightening, ang daming insights. Kasi we're a committee just to make sure na, ginagandahan namin yung channel. So, kuminsan, eto na yung time slot, di ba? Dito natin ilalagay itong si Kusinaning Mamang. Tapos, ang kasunod nito, di ba, we get into discussions and inciting on why and why not, di ba? Or baka mas maganda dito. And that is the discovery for us. The amount of time that we put in just to make sure na na bagay siya, na maganda siya, 'di ba? Aside from just the quality, the very simple yung creatives namin on idents, kung anong itsura nung now next later, ang grabe po yung pinagdaanan namin kasi nga we feel that this channel should really be worthy of that feel good vibe, and I thank the APT because yung work behind the original production, aside from of course making sure that we produce it, we have fun producing it, we are all safe. They've always been the gatekeepers of those diba, values. Kami naman, diba, kasi kami yung nag-curate sa signal, ganun din. Diba? That that it's going to be for the best of our audience. Dami pong discovery, kaya masaya din Kuminsan po, meron po kami mga programming meeting, di kami matapos either nagtatawanan kami or hindi kami magkasundo kung saan ilalagay isang programa. Only because again, diba, I think the heart is in the right place, diba? Our objective of wanting to make people feel good is really there. Kaya masayang katrabaho. I thank APT for that. Masaya, mahirap pero masaya.
Thanks, Ma'am Shen. Knowing the backstory, mas lalo kami na-excite, di ba, sa mga proseso kung paano napunta yung mga programa na yan. Pero ito po, may tanong sa atin yung kapatid natin si Marinel Cruz from the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Sabi po niya, later on daw po ba, will you also be airing programs not produced by TV5, Signal, and APT Entertainment? If yes, what will be your considerations? Because we imagine that there will be a lot of options.
Of course. I mean, we want to give the best to our audience. Meron na nga po kayong makikita na part of our partnership with another content company, no, na makikita mong nandun na siya sa channel because it's good. It makes you feel good, no? That specific content. Direct, di ba? I mean, like, bubblegum. Ang bubblegum po kasama sa listahan namin. Point being, yung partnership, yung acquisition team namin is also there to find these good programs. Diba? So, we feel that, we can do a lot of things, Marinel. Pwede, ngayon, iba na diba? You collaborate with varied content companies. Maybe some way, somehow, some of them are competitors in one field, but on pay TV, that's something that we learned there because you want to give you want your best foot forward, you want to give the best to your audience, diba? This is where you see even competitors come together. With TV5, matagal na po ako na nasa TV5, no? Talagang ang dami po nilang mga content sa library nila na ngayon, makikita nyo na maaring contract stars sa ibang channels or they are what do you call this, in a creative or an agency, no, a talent agency of na maaring one day competitor na. Pero hindi po ganun ang thinking the strategy of Guido who actually draws up all this strategy, whether it's editorial or content and business, we have to give the best to our audience. Thereby, even his directions on acquisition should be talagang kahit saan, basta yung alam mo na that show is going to give Buko the feel good feeling, diba? Pwede po, marami pong pwedeng mangyari. And again, in this times of content, marami nang gumagawa ng content. Diba? Why will you preclude or deprive others who can actually create good content on comedy content and find its home in Buko? So yes, we like to work with many people. We're very open to that.
Wow. Thank you, Ma'am Shena. Right now, we do have a question from John Michael Bueno of kumagkaw.ph. First question from him is, how does Buko channel plan to have their content consumed by the public? What channels and platforms would this be broadcasted? And did they have to do restoration work in their content, especially the classics? And will some of it land po on YouTube? Are they also planning to start doing other shows, yung mga bago po na pasok na po sa mga restrictions na nag-ease nowadays? Kaya mabigat yung mga tanong ni John Michael. Opo.
Daming questions. So to some of them, again, it's Signal, Satellite, and Signal Play, which is OTT. On Signal and Satellite, it will be on Channel 2 starting August 2. When it comes to whether it will be made available or the content on YouTube, I think there's a specific kind of content that we can make available to YouTube. Maybe not the full episode, but something to give a flavor of the different episodes, diba? MJ, ano pa yung mga questions?
And ito nga daw po, pag meron daw po ngayon, since medyo nag-ease pa po yung restrictions natin, yung mga in the works daw po ba na mga shows na in production na po ba ngayon para po sa Buko channel?
Para kay Direct Mike yan.
Direct.
In terms of the restorations?
Hindi direct. Sa production po.
Ayan. Meron po bang in production po ngayon na dahil nag-ease na raw po mga restrictions?
Yes. Yung mga iba na ones, the concepts that are a bit safer now to do, we do. Kumbaga kung ano yung allowable within the protocols, we keep doing them. We're actually starting on things already for fourth quarter for this year ang magiging airing. But what we're really starting to gear up on are the ones for next year. Kasi the ones for next year will be the first ones that have the concepts that are already free of the protocol. So we are already anticipating pag mangyari yan, as more people get vaccinated, as the protocols relax a little bit, nandun na, and we're really, really excited about that. Kasi sabay, we are sure so many people will have that hunger, yung sabik yung tao na even if the content is there, and there was comedy content naman during the past year and a half, iba yung comedy content that we remember, when we have the rules or the protocols relaxed already, may mga surprises pa kami and these fresh concepts that we are preparing for that. So yes, parang ever evolving naman po yung slate namin. Especially we're very, very frustrated yet excited at the same time of some of the concepts na hindi po namin ma-push sa ngayon because of the limitations. But we are sure that once we are allowed to bring those concepts to fruition without yung mga balakid and for safety, then definitely ipupush na namin yan.
And ako naman, sorry MJ, for very, very selfish reasons, no? Alam po nyo, yung aming Signal Play, I'm a fan, again, for selfish reasons kasi taga-Signal ako, pero maganda po yung app namin na yon. Not only will you see the channel being streamed in C-Play, but yung sinasabi natin na mga behind the scenes, meron pong may iba pong content na makikita nyo doon. So please feel free to download C-Play. Doon din po may VOD, if I'm not mistaken, di ba, Guido? Nandun din po yung video and demand. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I know maraming ngayong mga iba-ibang klaseng OTT app na nagpo-provide ng iba-ibang klaseng content. But Signal Play really, I think I'm very proud of it kasi may linear siya, hindi lang VOD. Yung mga channels namin, makikita nyo, mapapanood po ninyo yung Buko. Dati kasi close circuit lang si diba, si Signal. Ngayon po, nakaisip po ng produkto ang marketing namin na you can access that content through Signal Play. Subukan po nyo yun. Maganda po. Ako po ay avid fan nun. Not because but you really, if you wanna watch on your own or at a time na hindi, di ba, na hindi ka pwede, hindi mo mapanood kahit sa linear sa TV, di ba? Pwede pong ma-access ang mga content sa Signal Play.
And libre po yun, ma'am, di ba? Kaya the best part, libre po siya.
Meron po siyang yung wall na yes, part nung pag nag-download ka, mayroong free layer. Tapos meron din naman pong behind the paywall. But initially, I think Buko is part of the one in front of the paywall.
Ooh. Yeah. And thank you so much for that, Madam. Ito na po yung follow-up question ni John Michael Bueno. No? How do you curate the classics and in the day wherein there are snowflakes sa audience, di ba? Maraming how do you make sure previous content won't be offensive as there may be things that are taboo now, especially about toxic masculinity and the LGBTQI plus community views that have drastically changed over the years?
Well, if I may speak about that, kasi when we go through the content now, we try to balance. So far, we haven't done any sort of censorship or anything like that. So far, with the stuff that we've seen, nothing is offensive to the point that we would have to remove it. But yes, comedy, there are different types of comedy or levels of comedy as the years pass. So we understand that and we respect that. So far of the acquired content that we have gone through, wala pa namang content that we feel is not acceptable right now. However, we also try to respect syempre yung mga creators. For example, a certain scene or a certain episode or a theme or whatever may be a product of its time, and we would like to respect that. Na parang kung ano man yung message nung creators at that time, of course, without being offensive to current audiences. So we always try to strike that balance, kasi we don't want to be overly critical and just censor everything, because then it kind of loses the point of wanting to re-experience some of these content. But of course, we don't also want to isolate audiences who feel that the older types of comedy they might be offended by. So we always try to run that balance, and we filter through. We look at all the content that is being considered. And also, actually, I would like to go back to part of the question kanina that I was answering in terms of this, the older content. In terms when we were asked if we had to do some restoration work, we absolutely did, and I didn't actually expect that when we were going through acquired content, that some of them they would be completely airable if you did not restore them. So that's kind of like it became we kind of started adopting that advocacy as well. Some of these shows or some of these beloved episodes would never be seen again if we don't restore them right now. And Buko is giving us that opportunity, not just to give them a home, but to save them one last time before they completely disappear. So some of the acquired content, absolutely, we are, especially the older ones, we are doing some work on them digitally to make them airable. Some are completely lost. Just recently we were told like a whole show and all of the seasons were completely lost. So yeah, we just keep on hunting. We just keep on hunting and looking for the ones that we feel that people will really enjoy now, even the younger audiences. And of course, when we watch them, we balance and filter na lang. Like, okay, what's acceptable now and what's not. But luckily, so far naman, because ang Pinoy comedy naman is very, very, it's still very, very much beloved. And it's still, parang it's such a universal thing amongst Pinoy. So far, of all the things we've seen, okay pa naman lahat. But, we'll cross the bridge when we get there.
And actually, Direk, I thank you. I think, we're very sensitive about that. Thank you. matatawa kayo pero kakagalitan nila ako kasi kuminsan meron talagang beep, 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 beep. Hindi na matapos yung beep. So, pag nakita namin na ano na talaga, we set it aside. Hindi namin ine-ere. But true. It's a lot of work on curation, but if the objective talaga is 'di ba, to make it good for the audience, wala beep, 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 beep. Ganon. Pero ano naman, the partnership again, working with sina Direct Mike, there's a lot of that exchange. Pwede naman yan, Michelle, pero, di ba? So that happens, and we thank you for reminding us as well. We're very, very conscious about that.
Alright. And never na siya, mawawala dahil mapapanood na nga siya sa Buko channel, ma'am, and direct. Pero ito, question from Robert Recantina of Manila Bulletin. Is Buko limited only to local shows or may mga plano po ba na mag-import ng comedy shows for Buko channel?
Ngayon, wala pa po talagang you wanna build the local, yung library namin. We build that first. We will see, but now gusto muna natin pang sariling atin, 'di ba? Bago tayo mag-move and try others.
All right. And this one is a question from Rain De Ocampo of Rain Check. And speaking of yung mga archives na naging advocacy na ng APT, ito po yung tanong niya, for the older throwback shows, ilang % daw po ng episodes were you able to restore? How often will the audience see the episodes, especially those that ran for a lot of seasons and years?
It depended on the show. It changed from show to show. Siyempre, I can't name the titles of some of the shows, but it was so heartbreaking in some of them that I grew up on, and then I wanted my kids to have a chance to really enjoy them. Some shows are gone, like forever. There's just no, they were archived in a poor medium, kunyari, like tape format, and then they were stored in less than favorable conditions in medyo damp kasi rainy and then hot yung seasons natin. It really didn't it was not the weather in the time was not merciful to our archived materials. Some shows we were able to save mga 30%. Yung mga ganon. We're talking about the classics. So it's quite sad. Yung iba naman buo, but wala. It's quite rare for the classic ones to have really clean whole seasons for the whole run. Palaging may damage along the way, and I guess that's one of our biggest learnings was how much the creators and the producers of before did not anticipate the growth of the industry in terms of how many platforms will be available, that people would actually be interested in replays, and they could be, there is such a thing called the internet that it could air there one time called streaming. Wala. Before, you air it once on free TV and that's it. You can throw it away. It'll never be aired again. And because of that, of the way the industry and the technology ran then, yun ang nagbigay sa amin ng mga limitations on what we can find. That's why for us, it's kind of like a last chance for some of the material. Let's save it now, and we might be saving it primarily to be aired in Buko, but it would allow future generations also to have an opportunity to enjoy it and see, and for us, kasi it's like a time capsule thing. Parang this is what comedy was in the 80s or 90s or early 2000s. You may enjoy it, or you may not. It might not be your cup of tea anymore, but it's still a shot from the past. Na parang, oh, okay, that's how things were, and it gives you a new appreciation. So we're trying as much as possible to find first, number one, and to save what's out there. And you will be able to see them first in Buko. Then hopefully, we can try to save as much as we could.
MJ, dagdag ko lang, no? Parang parang Buko parang accidentally became like a stage where this classic contents, pag nasama ka sa Buko, from here on, digitize na yung content mo, na save na, at future generations would have a digital copy already. Kasi previous to this, yun nga, sinabi ni Direct Mike, yung mga naka-store sa tape, yung iba inaamag na, yung iba hindi na na-store ng tama. So naging part of the process yung Buko. Pag nasama ka sa Buko, na secure yung content na nagiging digital siya.
That is awesome. Sir, a follow-up question lang po. Ano daw yung pag-start ng archives ninyo and pag-restore, anong year po yun? Yung pinaka naaalala nyo na inano nyo, 80s po ba? 90s?
Top of my mind, may mga 70s kami, mga I think 78 or 79, which was mga school bukol, the original school bukol, Tito Vic and Joey pa. So school bukol would be one of our classics na medyo one of the older titles that we're restoring.
Wow. And ito naman po, no, the next question would be still from Rain de Ocampo. As a comedy channel, apart from featuring old shows and more recent comedians, will you be training future local comedians as well? Makikita po ba natin sila sa Buko channel?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, in perfect sync with what Michelle said kanina, we had talked about getting foreign content before, pero naging mandate na rin nila Michelle and sila Sir Guido, let's focus on local, because why not give a chance to even the fledgling or the budding comedians first before we just buy foreign content and just replay? Because for the same time slot, instead of replaying foreign content, you could be giving a platform for a new and up-and-coming comedian, and that could be able to add something more to Filipino comedy rather than the replay of a foreign content. So we have a lot of plans for that. We want to play around with stand-up comedy. It's a very, very popular medium in terms of kasi nagsara ang mga comedy bars because of the pandemic. There's so much talent out there from the stand-up comedy circuit, theater, and all of that. We want to tap all of that. We want to give them a home, and we'll see na which of them might just burst into the next big comedy sensation. We want to give a home for budding comedians like that, and Buko will continue to develop shows that could be kind of like their launching point.
That's awesome. And ito naman po, question from Edwin Salian of Business Mirror. Sabi niya, TV5 has produced a lot of hit sitcoms, among them Bagets, Kapitan Awesome, Dause and Wally Show, among others. Are we going to see them also in Buko?
Yes. The answer is yes. Again, just making sure that all the rights have been cleared. Siyempre, very particular kami doon. But ideally, yes, lahat ng owned natin na mga na content. Makikita natin doon, Edwin. Hi, Edwin.
Ayun. I hope nasagot yung tanong ni Kuya Edwin doon. Pero ito, may tanong po si Tito Gorgie Rula from PEP. Sabi niya, baka pwede po ma-discuss yung mga bagong shows ulit. Comedy rin ba yung format noon? Comedy rin po ba yung format ng cooking show ni Pokwang?
Direct Mike.
Yes, absolutely. Ang naging parang running rule namin in terms of new content, especially for the Buko originals, is that there will always be some sort of comedy in it. It might not be the most obvious. For example, hindi naman pwedeng lahat sitcom, hindi naman pwede lahat narrative na comedy. Kunyari, although we will definitely have those, and we will have very, very good sitcoms and narrative comedies in the pipeline. Pero for example, for Maine, which is almost like not just a travel vlog, but an experience vlog. Kasi yung nangyari sa amin, we wanted Maine not just to go to places, but to experience things that she had never experienced before. So it becomes more of an experience vlog. But with Maine, she can't help to make things entertaining and funny. Yung sa Kalesa lang kanina, nakita nyo, she became very, very good and adept at that immediately. And then we finished one where she was diving, and then all of these like diving signals she would do like underwater and all that. So it is travel, it is experience, but always laced with laughter and fun. Same thing with the Kusina ni Mamang, wherein easily you could categorize it as a cooking show. Pero from the moment Mamang comes into the set, na hinihila ng kalabaw, tapos yung mga olden times na mga devices and tools that she uses to cook, dun sa mga reaction ng mga young guests niya, all of whom are from the current, the young generation, everything is laced with laughter. Si Mamang naman, I think, cannot do something without making other people enjoy, you know, and making other people laugh. So napaka-natural sa kanya yun. So sobrang organic. So we're always like, we are very, very much open to different kinds of content and different kinds of genres. But the one common thread through all the content, especially the originals, is that it be feel good. You know, so some of them might be traditional comedy, and some of them you may not have anticipated na ilalagay niyo sa comedy channel, but when you watch it, then it makes you feel good. Maybe it makes you laugh. Yes, or maybe it makes you smile inside, you know. So parang we've figured out how to kind of expand what it means to feel good. And yun yung pinaka-spirit naman talaga of comedy.
Alright, ayan. And naturally funny naman talaga po yung yung mga niline up ninyo. Ito naman po yung follow-up niya. Direk, yung isang show daw, Beach Buddies ba yun? Or Beach Buddies? Is it a reality show? Are you looking for new talents? Thanks from Gorgie Rula.
Yes, Gorgie, textan mo ako ba kung meron ka mga reko? No, we're so excited about that. I'm very glad Gorgie asked about that, because that's literally one of the shows that we had to move, because it's a reality slash kind of competition show, and we just couldn't have that many people housed together in close contact in one place safely. We were supposed to shoot that April of this year. That's exactly when the new ECQ dropped. So we decided to move it at a later date, kasi we missed the whole idea behind that. So we missed summer. I mean, I think we've gone through two summers already that were not like any other summers we were able to enjoy before. So sabi namin, let's do a summer show. Let's just have like these you know, the hot guys and beautiful ladies, and then they're all competing, but they're all also getting along, and it's just gonna be fun. But the problem was with the lockdown, and then when we studied yung mga protocols, it just would have you would have had to sacrifice too much of the show. So baka hindi siya it might end up being, you know, a shadow of what it could have been. So sabi namin, delay it until you could make the best version of that show. So I was very glad naman with sila Michelle and Sergido that they allowed that. Parang okay, let's save it for another quarter when we can give justice to the concept.
All right. And this one, a question from Kate Adahar from Random Republica. Do you want to remake some popular classic sitcoms such as Home Along the Riles and another is School Bukol maybe, among others? That's a question from Kate.
Kaya masarap ka partner si
no comment yata, Michelle.
No, but you know, that's the beauty with working with APP, no? The wealth of their IP, their IPs. Naku, nakakatuwa. Yes, there are plans of doing that. We've been imagine sitcoms na ako kinalakihan ko. Talagang yep, there's going to be a refresh. Again, Kalabog and Bosho, which is one of the IPs that they actually own already. We've been discussing Kalabog and Bosho already as a remake, right? We have two more very popular. I'm not in a position to share it yet. Dalawa pong popular na na talagang nakakatuwa na sitcom na nasa IP po ng APT. Kaya you know, Home Along the Riles, why not? And again, I think that IP is with ABS. And, you know, I see no problem if there's actually, diba, an opportunity to actually do that.
And Ma'am Shena, ito raw po follow up for you. How do you think Buko can change the viewing habits of Filipinos or the Signal subscribers at the very least?
Kaka-text ko pa lang sa kay Guido. You know what? How the viewing habits change talaga. I mean, you know, the appointment viewing on linear channels, dun tayo nasanay, di ba? But ngayon, with the advent of the OTT platforms, di ba, I'm now able to actually watch content at the time that I want to watch it. So that's for VOD. Yun namang nasa malayong lugar ako. Tapos wala ako, hindi ko makuha yung channel kasi mahina antena ko or something, di ba? The paid TV allows me to actually, you know, be able to watch it. Kasi nga, may subscriber ako ng Signal. 'Di ba? Kahit nasa Apari ako o nasa Hulo ako, basta may Signal ako. I mean, you know, that one. Ang maganda pa sa Signal, guys, again, for very selfish reasons, HD. Ang ganda po, iba po yung pakiramdam mo, 'di ba? And then we've been offered so many packages na hindi masakit sa bulsa, na pwedeng ko ngayon meron akong pambili ng load ko for me to be able to watch the channel that I like, 'di ba? Iipunan ko. Hindi po siya prohibitive ang presyo. Again, with the OTT, maganda po yung nangyayari na, 'di ba? Meron pong mga offer na 30 days na libre muna bago ka. So, natitikman mo, nasusubukan mo. So, nag-a-adapt po yung platform namin, again, using CPlay and all the other packages na meron kami. Even satellite, which is a service that we're providing. Meron pa nga po kaming produkto na nakakabit sa, na nakakabit ang signal sa internet mo, like signal over fiber, kasama ng PLDT, meron din po kaming red fiber. Ano po, nakakatuwa po kasi, di ba, ang dami ng options. And again, nakikibagay kami doon sa changing landscape ng papanood. Hindi ba yung traffic, hindi ako makakaabot, 7 o'clock lang yung airtime noon, di ba? Tapos wala na akong opportunity pag na-miss ko siya. Wala na, meron na ngayong catch up, di ba? Or pwede mong panoorin ng isang palabas sa gusto mong oras kung kailan mag-aanggaang ka. So being with Signal and it being central to the growing technology on video platforms, I think there are many ways for us to actually be able to consume these kinds of good channels and good content.
Meron lang choices. Pero kung hindi ako satisfied,
thanks, ma'am. Ito naman po, just to close this, the final question for Direct Mike naman po. Direct Mike, can you describe how Filipino comedy has evolved throughout the years? And is it harder, do you think, for this generation to appreciate comedy?
Okay, those are two questions. Yung una, how it has evolved, like in anything naman, parang whether it's drama, comedy, or any genre, it evolves with the times. It depends on the more lalo na ngayon, I think the biggest factor in the taste of people was actually the lockdowns. Because we were all locked down in our house. People who did not have streaming tried streaming for the first time. There were record numbers of YouTube views and subscriptions. People were really looking for alternatives because ang nangyari is free TV hit a sort of limitation in terms of you cannot produce anything new kasi lockdown eh. So a lot of people tried to look for other ways, and that's when we really medyo sumabog yung mga platforms. And that's why we were very proud of partnering with Signal, wherein they have access to all of these different platforms. So there's no limit to, when you have a good idea and a good content, there will always find a home within the Signal family. And in terms of the comedy changes rin naman, but it doesn't mean that, for example, the younger audiences now, that they only like this particular generation style of comedy. You could see in YouTube, people, even kids, they follow and they watch older stuff, replays. That's the beautiful thing about each generation. They rediscover. They discover things that maybe they did not have the opportunity to enjoy before. So there will always be that, from whatever is funny now. Kasi like what's funny now is kind of dictated somewhat by social media. What's funny on TikTok comedy now is a little bit more visual, but also we're getting into dialogue. We're starting to get wittier, wherein comedy in the olden times, decades ago, was much more physical, so, and much more medyo yung bulgaran yung mga ibang comedy, and that's more but the masa loves all kinds of comedy. So we want to be a home to all kinds of comedy also, and as tastes evolve, which is inevitable, tastes will always evolve. We will have the flavors of, we will have current flavors, as well as giving you an opportunity to look back on other things that you might still enjoy rin naman. So, things change, tastes change, but we want to have a home for all kinds of comedy.
And I'm sure that will be embraced really well, Direct Mike. And thank you for that. So it's such a great way to conclude today's event. And with Signal TV Inc. and APT Entertainment Inc., we're up for a refreshing and feel good na talaga namang we get to watch our classic comedy favorites and enjoy Buko Originals. Yun yung mga aabangan natin. Before we go though, we would like to thank everyone who took the time to be with us this afternoon at the virtual MediaCon, our esteemed executives from Signal and APT Entertainment. Thank you so much for answering all the questions so completely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, our friends from the press for your questions. Maraming salamat po. So at this point, please don't forget to catch the grand launch of Buko this August 2, 2021 na po yan, and be ready to fill your days and nights 24/7 po with laughter and non-stop amusement. Buko will be available on Signal TV Channel 2, Satellite Channel 2, as well as the Signal Play app available via App Store and Google Play. Thank you so much, everybody. This has been your host, MJ Marfori, on behalf of Signal TV Inc. and APT Entertainment Inc. It is always a pleasure to be with you all. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Ta-ta!
Thank you very much. Bye.